The next question. I am Muhammad Asif Hassan. I am from Dhaka, Bangladesh. I am a student. Allah said to lower your gaze when you see a woman to protect your modesty. As I am a student, some of my colleague and some of my professors are women. To understand the lectures properly, some of my college professors are women. To understand the lectures properly and to listen attentively, I have to look at their faces. What should I do? Is it a sin? A similar question is asked by Zakir Patel from Manchester, UK. Is it permissible to study in a co-education university where there is free intermingling of sexes? The question poses that, is it permitted for a student to look at the teacher if she is a lady, or a professor in the college if she is a lady, while she is teaching, so that there can be better concentration? And the second question is that, is it permissible for a Muslim to study in a co-education university where there is free intermingling of sexes? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the glorious Quran, in Surah Nur, chapter number 24, verse number 31, that say to the believing woman, say to the believing man that he should lower his gaze and guard his modesty. That means Allah is telling in the Quran to the mu'min, to the believing men, in Surah Nur, chapter 24, verse number 31, that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. That means whenever a man looks at a woman, if any brazen thought, any unashamed thought comes, he should lower his gaze. So normally staring at a woman, a man staring at a woman, it is not permissible, it is haram in Islam. So based on this, but natural, if you are staring at your teacher who is a lady, it is against the teaching of Islam. Regarding, is it permissible for a Muslim to study in a co-education university where there is free intermingling of sexes? Most of the scholars, almost all, they prohibit a Muslim from studying in a co-education institution, especially the colleges and the universities. As Allah says in the glorious Quran, in Surah Isra, chapter number 17, verse number 32, come not close to adultery, for it is an evil, opening other roads to evil. Quran says, Quran in this verse in Surah Isra, chapter 17, verse number 32, does not say don't commit zina. We know zina is a major sin. Here in Surah Isra, chapter 17, verse number 32, Allah says, come not close to zina. Come not close to fornication. Come not close to adultery, for it is an evil, opening other roads to evil. That means even coming close to things that will make you do zina later is haram. And all these things that Islam has prohibited are things which will make you do zina. And when you are studying in a co-education, in a university or college, there are high chances that you will do things which are haram. There are high chances that you will do things which will lead you to zina. According to the research in the Western countries, a lady, by the time she passes her university, according to statistics of USA, 95% of the women, by the time they pass the university, they lose their virginity. In most of the European countries that you find, some say 92%, some say 93%, some say more than 95%, all of them are more than 90 to 95%. They say that by the time the girl finishes a college or finishes a university, 90 to 95%, 97%, 98% of them lose their virginity. So this is what happens in co-ed education. And there are various reasons for that. And today's scientific research, they tell us that there was a survey done in UK in the performance of the students in a co-education school and a co-education college as compared to a single-sex school or a single-sex college. The report said that students in a single-sex school perform better than a co-ed school. Students in a single-sex university perform better than a co-education university. And we know the reason very well. That means the students in a co-ed school are more interested in trying to impress the friends of the opposite sex than to concentrate on the study. This is common, and that's the reason UK government was encouraging single-sex schools and single-sex colleges. And it's quite obvious that there are things which are prohibited that can happen if you are studying in a co-ed college or a co-ed university. It's difficult that you study in the university and you would not have to look at women or not look at ladies, whether they're in hijab or not in hijab. So as I said, according to Surah Nur, chapter number 24, verse number 31, it is prohibited for a man to stare at a woman. There may be occasions that you may have to shake hands. And imagine in a co-education university, if a girl comes and wishes you, "How are you?" and puts the hand forward. Most of the time, you will put your hand forward also. It is difficult for you to refuse a handshake if a girl stretches a hand to shake hand with you. Only if you are trained in advance or you are mentally prepared in advance what to do if a woman stretches a hand and how to refuse, there are high chances that you too will shake hands. You may be a good Muslim, you may be a practicing Muslim, but if a lady puts a hand forward and says, "How are you? Hello, good morning, good evening," what do you do? There are high chances you will shake hands, and shaking hands with a non-mahram is haram. There are high chances that you may have to sit together close to her in the classroom. So all these things are actually khutwatu shaitan. They are things which lead you towards haram. And that's the reason statistics say that 95% of the girls, they lose their virginity before they pass the university. Because all these things are the stepping stone towards the greater evil, the major sin, which is zina. That's the reason if you ask me the question, is it permissible for a Muslim to study in a co-education college or university, I would say no. Even in a co-ed school, I would say no. The best is to study in a single-sex school. However, when this question was asked to Sheikh Muhammad Salih ibn Utaymi, may Allah have mercy on him, that is it permissible for a Muslim to study in a co-education university or college or a school, he said the best, it is not permitted, the best is to study in a single-sex university. But as a last resort, if you cannot find an university, and if you have to study as a last resort, or if you are doing a specialty like a medical college, and you don't find medical college of single sex, so in such situation, as a last resort for higher education, you can do it if you can prevent yourselves from indulging in haram activities. That means, he said, because of the fitna today, you should not study in a co-education, but as a last resort, if you have no choice and if you have no options available, then you can, as long as you see to it that you lower your gaze when you are talking or interacting to a non-mahram lady. Point number 2, see to it that you don't shake hands with them. Point number 3, see to it that you don't sit close to them, which is common in a co-ed education, girls and boys sitting together. Number 4, see to it that you are not close in one room alone with a non-mahram lady. All these are prohibited. If you feel you can prevent yourself and abstain from all these sins, then it will be makruh and permitted. Makruh yet, because high chances of deviating. But if you feel that once you join this institution and you cannot abstain from looking at the woman, or you cannot abstain from shaking hands with them or talking with them unnecessarily, which is not required, or being with them alone, if you cannot avoid this, best is you leave that university, because your deen is more important. Going to Jannah is more important than getting a degree. Because to go to Jannah, you don't require a degree. And even I agree with Sheikh Utaimi that it is best not to study in co-ed college or university, but as a last resort, if you are doing a specialty, if you can take care and stay away from the sins, the minor and the major, then as a last resort, it can be makruh and you can do it. Hope that answers the question.